All right, Kevin, we're recording. Good to
Hi,
see you.
Emily. Good to see you, man. Yeah, we've been in touch for a while now, but it's the first time we actually get together and talk beyond the occasional chat.
Right. Yeah, we met through
Yeah,
Jared's what decoding the matrix
yeah, it
training
was a
program.
great program. I got really inspired doing that, and I also got inspired by you picking up the pace in the group because we were a lot of people, and I think you were one of the ones that was really picking up on what we were asked to do. So and that got me going as well a little. Seeing other people do it, crushing it, and that inspired me to do the same.
Hmm. Oh yeah, hell
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I've been in other coaching program. Well, take that back. I've been in one other coaching program,
Hmm.
and that guy he just started out as a coach. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So like,
Yeah.
he's not as good as Jared because I could tell Jared's done this a lot more just being with him. But
Hmm.
even like, because I'm a coach too, but bare minimum, like just having a third person view, just someone else there to critique, to tell you, to give you input is so
Hmm.
valuable because the other guy I was working with, I was one of his first clients. So like
Yeah.
he's not the best coach, all around, but like just having him there, I give you the dates, like when I started, when I ended. You could look at my content, everything exploded. And same thing with Jared in those 6 weeks, like holy shit, like I'm looking back on it now, I'm like, damn, that was so good. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mm.
my
Yeah.
account, all my accounts actually, and I bet the same for you too.
The thing is, the best training, the training I had the most out of, not in this realm. It's about breathwork. I'm a breathwork coach, but the
Okay.
breathwork training that got me really going. Actually, that really pushed me off and really sent me into the breathwork realm and selling out courses all over the place. Was the course that didn't teach me anything
Okay.
because I've been doing so many courses in the years before, and I was always looking for the next course and the next course and knowing more and then I inscribed for this course again. It was a lot of money, so and I took it and I was sitting throughout the entire course like, oh my god, I know more than all these people combined here.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just need to get started. I need to just
Yes, yes.
get going. What am I waiting for? What am I expecting to learn or to have the next big insight or so? I just have to get going. So the course that got me the furthest was the course I didn't learn anything anymore, because I was just putting off doing it. And I think Jared is a lot about just doing it.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, he really pushed me into just starting and figuring things out while on the go instead of waiting for being able to do the perfect video or the perfect this or perfect edit. And just no, man, just get started wherever you are right now.
Hmm.
And yeah, that resonated with me. Yeah,
Totally.
he did a great job. Mm,
There's this quote, not verbatim, but it's by Da Vinci that I always think about. But
yeah.
basically, he says, practice without theory, useless. But theory without practice, just as useless. You need a little bit
Yeah,
of both. You know what I'm saying?
exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. That's totally true. Yeah. And I had a tendency to stay stuck in that theory realm for way too long. And the thing about Jared's coaching program was it was really practical from the get go.
Yeah, it's just so true, especially with social media. Like, just put something out there. Just
Hmm.
post it. Just post it.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy before social media became like because now it's like what's the word? So polished. It's like TV and stuff. You're
Mm.
expected to see professionals and like serious
Yeah.
people. Back in the day, hell, and not I say back in the day, not even that long ago, 10 years ago,
Yeah.
like it was just people posting like pictures of their family, just showing stuff to their
Mm.
friends. That's all. It was fun, and now we
Yeah.
take it so seriously, but it's maybe
Yeah.
because the world takes it more seriously. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Because I think to myself, I used to post the dumbest stuff all the time, And then right, and I'm like, why am I afraid to post now? What changed?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you just have to get started, and that really helped me to see. And I'm actually having fun posting stuff right now.
Oh, it's so much
It
fun.
doesn't feel forced at all. It's just, yeah, posting stuff. It's so I I get a lot of ideas. I get a lot of inspiration, and it's so much fun to bring it into practice. And I see myself getting better at editing the
Yes.
videos, and I hope to look back in a year and say, "Oh my God, these look horrible." But I
Yes, yeah,
did
that's
it.
growth.
I did
That's
it
growth.
anyway. So it's yeah, and yeah. While I'm doing it, I'm having a lot of fun,
Hey,
and I
Kevin.
think you are too. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is the point of this. We treat a lot of people treat like obviously like you're trying to make money and it's a business, but people
Mhm.
treat it like a job. The point of doing this is so we don't work a quote unquote job. You know what I'm saying? But we turn it into a job. Like we got deadlines. I'm stressed. I'm staying up late. What the fuck are we doing? We're
Mm.
talking on camera. We're going to places. We're filming ourselves. We're doing what we love. Like this isn't supposed to be quote unquote a job. You know,
Nah, nah, no. Yeah, it's just fun. It's just fun, and it doesn't. I've let go of trying to make any money out of it. I'm just trying to have a lot of fun there, and then we'll see what happens.
oh, the money will come. The money will
Yeah,
definitely come. Just having fun, bringing that positive energy,
yeah,
helping other people. Money's actually the last thing. As
yeah.
cliche as that
It's just
sounds.
about energy.
Yes,
Yeah,
totally.
it's true.
And if you don't give
Yeah,
out that energy, and usually that happens when you're chasing money. If the only thing you're thinking
yeah,
about is money, then you put the deadlines. Maybe that's why we treat it like a job. Hey, I'm not here
mhm,
for fun. I'm here for money.
yeah, yeah. No, I'm just having a lot of fun right now. So yeah, beautiful.
And it's amazing too, like, first off, like, I mean, the technology and like this is gonna help both of our businesses, just us talking. And it's more
Yeah.
amazing that I'm talking to someone in Europe because right now I'm in Cleveland, Ohio, and I'm talking to someone. Where are you located in Belgium? Correct?
Yeah, it's called Hasselt. It's a small
Castles.
town.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a small town. But you know Belgium? Anything about Belgium, or is it
I
just
know very little, like more
yeah,
like history stuff. Like it was like a buffer state. You're between like
yeah,
Germany and France, correct?
yeah, yeah?
Okay.
So whenever there's a war, we're always somewhere in the middle there.
Right.
When the
Right.
big boys start playing, we're fucked.
Eh,
Yeah,
Another thing I gotta ask you too, because you brought up you're a breathwork coach,
yeah.
and like I want to apply that in my own business because I'm
Hmm.
huge on Wim Hof.
Yeah.
Like Wim
Hmm.
Hof, like I love that guy, man. And I'm pretty sure you know all about him. You probably know him
Yeah.
way more than me, and
I
especially where
I
he's
was
from and
I was
everything.
one of the I think I went to Wim Hof for the first time in 2000. I want to say 10 or 11, and it was
Wow,
way before he was
wow,
famous, or way
yeah,
before anybody was doing anything with the ice. So everybody was like, "What are you doing?" And I went to Amsterdam. It was a small venue. I think we were maybe 20, 30 people. It was Wim Hof himself. So now if you want to see
wow,
Wim Hof himself, you have to be like Aubrey Marcus,
oh, yeah,
or you know, kind of Insta celebrity to get in
yeah.
touch with him directly. So it was way before, and everybody was like, "What are you doing? Why would you do that? Take an ice bath?" So I started taking cold showers and doing ice baths way before it was cool. So
Oh yeah, I know,
yeah,
right?
yeah, and I got into that, and I think that was the first breathwork I was really introduced to as well.
Mhm.
And then yeah, it kind of escalated from there.
Man, I got into Wim Hof, or I was aware of him. I'm sorry, I was aware of him because it was this TV show. I don't know if you've heard of it, but Stan Lee's Superhumans.
I have never heard of that.
I don't know if it's just in America because the
Mhm.
host is an American, but he was basically going around the earth, going around the
Yeah.
planet looking for
Hmm.
people with like real life superpowers.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Wim
Wim
Hof
Hof
was
is
one of
one.
them.
Yeah.
And this was in 2012. I was like, I don't know, 16 years old.
Mm.
Supposedly Wim Hof like fell asleep on his front porch in the Netherlands, and this is in the winter, and he like
Mm.
iced over. And then
Really?
they got him and they took him to the hospital, and then he was perfectly fine.
Ha. Yeah.
And I guess he was doing that breathing on
Mm.
accident. because people forget we breathe 24/7. It's like it's
Yeah,
kind of
we do.
funny selling courses. I mean, it makes sense because I laugh about it because again, the courses so much research, but I'm like, wait, it's
Mhm.
just breathing. Like I do
Yeah.
this every day. Like I'm making this a lot more difficult than it is.
Yeah, and I think the first step into becoming a specialist into breath work, I always say, is to mm, is to bring awareness to the breathing you're doing all day. For instance, you could have a lot of people have wine every day, um,
Hmm.
but they're not particularly a connoisseur or a sommelier, as they say. The
So
people who
true.
are sommeliers, who are the people who can taste the wine and say like, oh, like that's a 66 Sauvignon, blah blah blah. Those are people who taste the wine with a lot of awareness. Every sip they take, they bring all of their attention, all of their focus, all of their awareness into that sip they're taking, and that's what makes them a professional. You can have 3 bottles of wine and know jack shit about wine in 10 years time, or you can have just a few sips a day and become a professional at recognizing wine. The same thing goes with breath work. If you bring a lot of awareness into every breath you take or every breath you consciously take, you're going to develop an awareness that makes you an expert beyond whatever breathing technique anybody can teach you. If you start noticing your own breath, the way other people are breathing when they're talking to you, when you see people running, and when you always bring attention to him, what is he doing, how is he breathing when he's in this state, that's what's going to make you a professional. And that's something not a single course in the world can teach you. It's just about awareness.
Kevin, I love that because I because with breath work, I'm self-taught
Hmm.
and and I'm just getting into wine. So I
Yeah.
love how you brought that up because I could see you're way ahead of me because I could see the beginning because I got friends they're like all this shit tastes the same. It's all alcohol. I'm like,
Yeah.
"No." I'm
Hmm.
like, "What are you talking? Are you
Yeah.
like what do you have any taste buds?" I love
Hmm.
that analogy. That is so true.
Yeah.
Even with the breath work, that is a perfect analogy right there. I
Yeah.
just got to state that.
Yeah, thanks, man. No, with the wine, it's just the same. When the first time I give you a glass of wine and say, "Yeah, it is gonna be red berries," and you're gonna smell oak, it's gonna be like, I don't know, man. I don't taste those berries. But if you keep practicing it, if you keep trying to find the finer things in it, is suddenly the a whole world starts to open up,
Mhm.
and then yeah, it becomes something completely different. But you
Hey
can just
Kevin.
use it as a vessel to get drunk as well. Same with breathwork. You can use it as a vessel to
Yes,
to get
yes.
high on your
Yeah,
own supply. But yeah,
right.
let's take it a little further then.
Hey, Kevin, with breath work, and I'm sure
Mhm.
you've heard plenty of testimonials in this because I want to add this in my business. I'm just so
Yeah.
new to breath work, but
Hmm.
like I got into breath work like heavy. I was getting it heavy because I've known about Wim
Yeah.
Hof for a minute. I've always admired him. I just didn't know where to start. And I was doing things by
Hmm.
myself. And I was just a young kid. Like I didn't have money to buy courses or a coach or
Yeah.
anything.
Hmm.
And another thing too, I'm Albanian. Like my body's not made for the cold. Like where I'm from in Albania, the coldest it gets is 60 degrees.
Really?
I don't like the cold. I don't like the, and I
Yeah.
live in Cleveland
60
till this
degrees
day.
is. I have to Google what that is in Celsius because we don't use Fahrenheit,
Oh
man.
shit. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. That's right. Man,
But I think it
yeah, I don't
must be
know.
somewhere around 20 degrees
Let me
Fahrenheit
look it up. I
Celsius.
actually got my iPad on me. Multitask. No, but yeah, I'm actually going back to Albania in the summer, so I told myself I'm going to learn kilometers, Celsius, all that stuff. I'm going to make that more and more familiar with me. I'm going to look that up right now. But during the pandemic, it blew
Hmm.
my mind because I don't know what it was, but my hairline was receding. Right now, my hairline's healthy and normal, right?
Yeah.
It was it was getting so far back. I'm like, I'm just
Yeah.
gonna have to shave my head. I was
Hmm.
looking into it, and nobody in my family's bald. It's not
Okay.
genetic. Old elderly people in my family have hair. So I'm
Yeah.
like, what is going on? And then I'm like looking under my hair because at the time it looked because I had a psoriasis problem like younger when I was in school because I was
Yeah.
a wrestler and people would see the psoriasis and they're like, what is that? Staph or wearing like no,
Mhm.
you can't wrestle. But then I found out psoriasis it's not contagious, it just looks bad. And I had it under my hair and it was
Mm.
building up like and it was flaky.
Yeah.
And at first I thought it was dandruff, but I take a shower every day. I wash my hair. I'm like, what's going
Mm-hmm.
on? And I had so much dandruff that or basically, it's the same thing. It's on my scalp and or psoriasis, whatever you want to call it. And it wouldn't allow my hair to grow. And then I started doing cold training. You won't even believe it. And with the breath work, my hairline was growing back.
Nah, really?
I swear to God, I was losing my mind. I started taking pictures because I want to do this with my clients because I legit fixed my inflammation problem. My hairline was coming back, and you know what's funny? Like it was like this.
Ha.
And I even went to a doctor. She just said, "Oh my," like she's like, she wasn't taking me seriously. Stop being insecure. She's like, just shave your head. You're going bald. I'm like, no, I'm not. And then I showed her the pictures. She had no idea what to say. I swear to God,
That's
she was
that's
baffled.
just your nervous system that's coming to that's calming down. Definitely.
It blew my mind. And then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna stop doing the cold showers. I'm gonna stop going outside in the winter when it's cold. And
Mm.
then I'd start losing my hair again. I'm like,
Nah,
what the
really.
hell? Like, to be honest, this is actually happening recently because I have a
Mm.
colic. I have a colic naturally.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like this
Yeah.
side just raises up more,
Me
but
too.
this is actually coming back. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But it blew my mind because I'm like, I'm doing this for the rest of my life because other problems were going away. And obviously,
Mm.
Wim Hof's been preaching this for years. But like, I look at other people that get all bundled up in the winter, like especially in Ohio and stuff where I'm from. It's cold 6 months of the year. Everyone's trying to escape the cold, and this is why I love Wim Hof. But like, Wim Hof isn't the crazy one. Everybody else is fucking crazy. No, I'm
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
they are. They
Yeah.
are. And
Mm.
what breath work has done because I almost shaved my head.
Mm.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I've
Yeah,
always
I
had
know.
long hair.
Me too, man. I just had to shave it at a certain point because it was thinning out too much, and I was becoming this old sad dude with the thinning hair, but still the ponytail. So it became too sad. Unfortunately, cold showers didn't save me from the baldness.
Well, I know if it's in your genetics because I've been looking at this heavy. If it's in your
Yeah, you can.
genetics,
It's
yeah.
probably a genetic thing. So but I'm sure that if it's like an inflammation thing and you can get a hold of that, it's a completely different ballgame.
And that's what dandruff is, dermatitis. Itis
Hmm. Yeah,
at the end of the
yeah,
sentence.
yeah. That's
That's
always an inflammation.
yeah, like that's what dandruff is. That blew my mind. I'm like, what? I thought dandruff was just you being like, I don't know, you're just being dirty,
Like,
like you're not
yeah,
washing your head.
no, no,
But
no,
like
no, no, no.
I had no idea. And then like going down the rabbit hole, and now I bet you're the same way. You could probably see someone and you're like, oh, this motherfucker's inflamed, like from a mile
Yeah,
away.
you can
It's
see it in
so
their face
obvious.
a lot. Yeah, it's you can see it. You can see it in people.
Like,
Yeah, alcohol
ex-
is a bad one for that.
oh,
People who
huge.
drink a lot, it's you can see it in their faces.
People don't realize this either. Like I be telling people this too, and I'm like some people like I'm actually a lot nicer to people now because when someone's being an asshole to me, no, I'm dead serious. Someone's being an asshole to me, your brain's inflamed. That's how I know.
Ah, yeah,
Someone's
yeah.
someone's being like snarky. You're not like this all the time, but then they get more mad because I'm like, hey, you're just fucking inflamed right now. Tomorrow you're gonna be nice to me. Dude, I'm not inflamed because I'm talking about their body and they're getting insecure. But like, I want them
Uh,
to be better. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, as a
yeah,
trainer, you gotta talk to people differently.
yeah,
But like,
yeah.
inflammation is such a silent killer. Like, oh my god, I because like me, like wintertime comes around. Like, I don't know
Mhm.
if you've seen my content. Like, I always walk around with my shirt
Yeah,
off
you're
in the
walking
beginning of
naked
the
all the time, man.
day. But yeah, yeah, because like I don't want all these problems in my life anymore. Like I can't believe that's
Mm,
such a simple fix. Like the walk I do, I mean, I guess it's pretty intense for majority of people, but that's a 10-minute walk in the cold.
yeah.
And that's like oh, I forgot to look up the Celsius. See, yeah, I need to get my measurements now. Dumb Americans, the whole world uses your system, but not a like. What the fuck are we doing? It's so stupid too.
Yeah, it's a crazy thing.
How cold does it get in Belgium? if you don't mind
We
me
go
asking.
all over the place, man. We go from on a warm day, I know 100 degrees Fahrenheit is like 37 degrees Celsius, more or
Okay.
less. So that's hot. So we go there, but we also go somewhere below zero. So it's all over the place. But usually it's just wet and not really nice. I think you
Okay.
could compare it to England. So the
Oh,
typical
okay.
weather
Yeah.
you would when you think of Scotland and England, and then just maybe a little less wet, but sort of that weather. So
Okay.
we have some summer times and we have some winter times. So we go all over the place. It's it's a hassle because you need a lot of clothes because we go all over the place with the weather. So you need stuff that is
Good point.
waterproof and warm and waterproof and cold, and so it's a lot of clothes actually if you want to be able to withstand all the weather we have here. I sometimes dream of just living somewhere where you only need flip flops, shorts, and like a t-shirt or two.
That's my country. In
Yeah.
Albania, in Vlor,
It-
it's the city's the closest to give you an idea where it's at.
mm,
It's the closest part of Italy. You know, the heel, the boot of Italy. That's where my
yeah.
city is in Albania. And
Ah,
the coldest I just looked up. The coldest it gets there is 15 degrees Celsius.
yeah, that's beautiful. That's awesome.
So I tell
Yeah.
people I'm not made for this. I'm not
No,
made like
you're not.
I'm
You're not.
I'm not a big
But
person either. Like people up north. Ha ha.
Albanians are some of the baddest motherfuckers around, aren't they?
Yes sir. Yes sir.
Yeah. Yeah, they are. The funny thing is I don't know if I should tell this because you're gonna probably be having a lot of Albanian friends listening in, but
Oh, good, good. I want them to hear this. Go ahead. Go.
yeah,
Bad or
in the
good.
city, in the
We
city
have to know.
I used to live in Antwerp. That's in Belgium too. That's where I was born and raised. There was a big problem with Albanian mobsters back in the day, but it was it was huge.
How far
Uh,
back?
I- the 90s, I think
Okay.
I think it must be the 90s, maybe early 2000s. There was a lot of Albanian mafia action going on. So that's growing up there, that's all we knew about Albania. I was like, okay, those are really dangerous men.
Right, right.
Yeah,
Yeah. Sometimes I'm kind of afraid to tell people I'm Albanian because I've told like
yeah.
I could tell you don't have that bad of an experience with them just from your
No,
reaction.
because I had a lot of friends that were in that environment as well, so they were
Oh
nice to
shit. Okay.
me. But they were in the news all the
Okay.
time too. So yeah,
Oh shit. Because sometimes I'm afraid, man. Like I tell people, like because I like to say I'm a friendly guy, I'm a nice guy, I'm sociable. Like I remember this Croatian guy on my fight team. He came from Croatia, and I think he didn't take me seriously. He's like, this guy's soft. Like this guy's like I don't know.
Mm.
And then he found I was Albanian. He started acting different around me, and I'm like, oh no, I didn't want that relationship with them. I'm like, no, I'm not this scary
I,
dude.
I
Like,
I didn't know it was an international thing. I thought it was just
oh
in
yeah.
my hometown. Ah, okay.
Well, honestly, because the problem with Albanians, and I love talking about this, not just because it's my country, but like just to clear up the air, like obviously communism, like a bunch of Albanians fled communism in the 90s, and I'm one of those Albanians. That's why I live in Cleveland, Ohio, randomly. But
Mm,
like, it was such a bad place. There's no education, there's no schools, there's not like it was borderline anarchy. There's no
mm,
government.
yeah,
And then like just like majority of poor places around the world, like people go to crime. And
yeah,
now people know Albanians because majority of Albanians leave to do crime. I mean, it's just true. And another thing too, I'll say to defend those Albanians committing crimes in my country, there's like because we like I was actually born in like anarchy. Like there's no government. So people in my
mhm.
country, they don't understand the rules. Like they don't understand like why do I have to pay this guy taxes? Why do I have to pay insurance? This makes no sense. Are you ripping me off? Like they don't understand like the regulations. So like they accidentally commit crimes because
Yeah. But
like
if you think about it, our real governments, they're tell me the difference between a government and a mafia.
yeah, I agree with that completely. Like in some
That's
ways like they're bigger bullies.
they're bigger bullies, and they also threaten with violence because if I don't pay my taxes, eventually they're gonna resort to violence.
Yes, yes.
There's gonna
And
be a few steps in between, but the end result of not paying your taxes is just as much violence
yes.
as the yeah as your average mobster. So yeah, and yeah, that's just the way it is.
No, that's so true. That's so true. And especially like, because I went to Albania in September 2023
Mhm.
for the month of September. And it was kind of funny when I was out there, the impression I got from them, they're like, "You Americans you guys will get scammed over anything. You guys just give your money away to anybody." And I just saw the logic, like, like for example, like insurance, like
Mhm.
and there because out there's no insurance for anything. But this is sound logic. Why would I pay you if nothing happens, like car insurance? If I never crash my car, why would I pay you? It sounds like you're stealing money from me because I'll pay
Yeah,
insurance, but if my car breaks down, which
yeah,
is kind of funny, I'm like, hey, that's actually a great way to look at it. I'm like, I've never been against insurance. I'm like, of course I would have insurance, right? Like, I don't want something to happen, but I'm like, hey, that's a good point. And like another thing, like they like to say we're backwards, but I like to say in some ways we're kind of forwards.
yeah. You are. Hmm.
But yeah, like, and because a lot of Albanians go overboard, like over. Yes, there plenty of them are actually doing bad things. I'm not going to defend them.
Yeah,
Drugs
I didn't know it
and
was
like,
that. I thought it was just in my hometown, a small, like a
oh,
small thing, but I didn't know it was an international problem.
the Albanians are the bit. All the drugs in Europe come from Albanians. Like that's
Ah,
serious. They make contact with the cartel
I gotta
and
thank
bring
them
all that shit
officially
over.
then.
I was a little laggy right now. Is everything going good, or is it my side? Okay, you're there. You're there. Yeah,
Yeah,
like all the
yeah,
crime.
I see you.
Doing good. Okay, okay, just making sure. But yeah, all the crime. Yeah, because all the drugs in the world basically comes from Mexico and like South America. All the cocaine in Europe
Mm,
is brought from Albanians from Mexico because they just took over the whole thing. And obviously, Western Europeans have so much money. And the craziest part is, because I'm actually gonna go to Albania in June, this
mhm,
upcoming June with some friends, and my friends are scared and stuff because they've read things. And actually, there's some crazy ass statistics. And going there too, I saw
mhm.
Albania and Kosovo are probably one of the most safest countries in Europe right now. And growing up,
Okay.
that's not what it was. Like I told you, there was no government,
Yeah,
and that blew
yeah,
my
but
mind. And they don't commit crimes there; they commit crimes in other countries. And I'm not saying
I
I'm for
know.
that.
But you have to know if there's is there no crime or is nobody reporting the crime, because that's a
Yes.
completely different game, of course. So there might be a lot of crime but nobody reporting it because it's like, yeah, police is not doing anything anyway, so let's not report this. And then
When
you
I was
don't
out,
end up in the statistics. So we'll see about that, man. You have to just film your journey and then we'll
right, right.
see it all in real life.
When I was out there, I realized because with my experience, because I was so apprehensive, but I was acting like it was America, because like America's an extremely dangerous place. Like I'm just like used to it. Like
Is
especially
it?
like I work. Yeah, yeah, totally. Like I mean, all this stuff's perspective. Like for example, in Albania, you could take your family downtown in a downtown center, and you'd be perfectly fine. If you did that in my city in Cleveland, you're gonna get harassed. Like I'm a white person. They're like, oh, why is this guy walking down here? Probably wants drugs. Every time I go downtown Cleveland, everyone's asking me for, do I want drugs and stuff. And I'm actually used to that. I don't carry a gun. I don't have one.
Do they
But like
have guns
personally,
in Cleveland?
oh yeah, yeah. Well, you're not a lot. Well, I don't know the gun laws because I don't have one. I just
Mm.
got into shooting a little bit. But like just how crazy things have gotten here, it's kind of stupid to walk around without a gun. Like all my friends have guns. My friends are cops and stuff too. But like,
Wow.
yeah, like some of the places I'm walking around, it's pretty foolish for me not to have a gun. But that's how I grew up. Like you're kind of a dumbass to walk around the city center without a gun on you. But like then I realized like going to Albania, like I mean there are guns there, but you don't need to do that. You could take your family in the downtown center, not get harassed.
That's
So like I went to
crazy.
Albania. I was pretty pissed off because I'm like, I thought I came to this country for a better life. But in some ways, yeah, no, it pissed me off. It really pissed me off. I'm like, what happened to America? Because it's going
Yeah,
down the shitter. Like it
yeah,
really is.
yeah. I can imagine. It's a crazy world out there. We look from Europe across the sea. It's like, what are they doing, man?
It's absolutely insanity. Like what's going on here. And the thing is, the worst part about it is I got so used to it. Like
Hmm.
I work in because East Cleveland is like top 5 most dangerous cities in America. And
Really?
I used to, yeah, and I used to work right next to Little Italy. And Little Italy in Cleveland and is right next to East Cleveland, right on the border. And I realized like because my friends work in Little Italy, and I told them like, if you're willing to walk around Little Italy, you're not afraid of Albania. You're just not. You're just not. It's just not true. It's just like America, like it's just people are so used to the danger. Like because in Albania, like I mean the stuff I saw, you could leave your like let's say if you forgot your backpack in a city center, you could leave it there, no one will steal it.
Hmm.
People like leave their babies in carts and shopping malls everywhere. You just see baby strollers. Kids walk around by themselves. Like in America, like you're a piece of shit parent if you let your kid walk down the street by himself. Like it's like what are
Yeah.
you doing? You're irresponsible. And I used to think that too, but then because when I went to Albania, does no one give a shit about their kids? I'm like, what is this? But then I realized like, oh, like, well, they actually don't like they actually take care of the people. Like I don't
Hmm.
know, it's just things have
It's
changed
just
a lot in
different.
America.
Yeah, it's not only the. I think it's also the times are just changing. I remember growing up in the 80s and in the early 90s when I was really young, and when I just went out to play, it was I just I just stepped out the door and was like, "I'll be home when it gets dark, mom," and she was okay with that.
Right.
Um, and when I had my own kids in the early 2000s, there was no way I would just let them go out all day as
Yeah,
when they
yeah.
were 6 or so. It was like, no, where are you
Mhm.
going? I'm going along. Or is there a friend with you? Or we were
Yes.
just micromanaging a lot more. And I don't know if it's because it's actually more dangerous than it was back then, or if it's just us being more scared. And I kind of think it's the latter. I don't think
Mhm.
it's more dangerous. I think we just more scared these days.
Okay, you think it's more psychological?
I think so,
No,
but maybe
it's
I'm wrong.
definitely no, no,
People are
no,
just. I think a government is doing, or media or whatever, or maybe it's just the general population that's some kind of ever growing thing. But I think we as a society we grow more scared as we proceed into our civilization. I think it's more that.
yeah, and the internet. No, I definitely agree with you because the internet, like you hear all these horrible stories and stuff. And before the internet, because I remember this growing up,
Mm.
I could say the same thing growing up for a little bit, and then it changed at a certain point. Maybe it's because of the internet. Everyone actually sees what's actually going on, and then they get scared. But
Yeah,
really, it's like it's always been the same. There's always been that crime. It's just you didn't know about it. It just didn't happen to you or someone that you knew. But now we
yeah,
got the internet. We're always on our phone. We're like, oh shit, this happened across town. Oh, this happened. This happened. So yeah, no, you're definitely right. That's a very good point.
yeah.
The
Maybe
psychology
it
is
doesn't.
definitely
Maybe this doesn't add up in statistics at all. What I'm saying, but that's just the sentiment I have that we're just growing a lot more scared. Um, but yeah, somebody
no,
should look into that.
you're definitely right. See, and
Mm.
like, I mean, I can only speak on like America and Albania, but I remember growing up, my parents would just let me walk around anywhere, and I
Yeah,
realized I was a little bit different than other parents. And I remember my parents growing up actually like other parents talking shit to them, like, you don't care about your kids, whatever.
yeah.
And they're like, what are you talking about? But they're
They're
actually not
actually
used. Huh.
they're actually the question they're gonna ask you. Aren't you scared something's gonna happen?
Right.
And then you're gonna ask yourself as a parent, am I supposed to be scared? Yeah, you're supposed to be scared. You're a bad parent if you're not scared. So that gets you into the being scared game. and
Yeah,
we
I
do
think
it to each other. Or whenever you're doing anything, if you're walking out and you don't have the sun lotion on, aren't you scared of getting skin cancer? Aren't you scared of
yeah.
this? And every time there's this confirmation loop, should I be scared? Maybe I should be scared for that. Yeah, let's look into that.
Mhm.
And you gather fears all over the place just by other people asking you, why aren't you scared? And so it's this crazy thing that we ask people why they aren't scared about something. I'm leaving my car open. Aren't you scared they're going to steal them? Yeah, I should be scared. And that's a crazy thing because we do it to ourselves. We do it to our fellow people. We ask them, "Aren't you scared?" And then
Mhm.
we want to approve. Yeah.
Another my best friend is Mexican, right?
Hmm.
And I actually went to Mexico a little bit ago, and
Wow.
even that blew my mind. No American should be afraid of Mexico. They do things
Yeah.
differently culturally, so maybe
Hmm.
they'll get confusing. I could see like an American going to Mexico because I was with someone that's actually Mexican, that's
Yeah.
there all the time. But even that blew my mind. Like other than the places that are like cartel wars, the
Hmm.
average place, if you're not afraid to go to Chicago, New York, Cleveland, you're not afraid of anywhere in Mexico, other than the bad
Hmm.
part, the highlighted the parts everybody knows. But
I
it just
think
blew my
being.
mind.
I think I think it's also a little bit of an energy thing. Of course, you can always just be the wrong place at the wrong moment
Yeah.
and just have the worst of luck ever. But I've many times before been in situations where it was just my street smarts or my it was some kind of radar was like, I'm leaving
Right,
or
right.
I'm not
Totally.
walking through this street. I don't know why, but I'm not going there. I'm not going to this bar. I'm avoiding this, or yeah, something just feels off, and I'm out of there. I think there's a
Mhm.
lot of street smarts that can get you out of a lot of situations. And if you don't have that energy radar or that street smart or whatever you want to call it, or that aura viewing shit, or no matter in what realm you are and how you want to describe it, but if you don't have that, then yeah, you're lost, I think, in some cities, and you end up in situations where you could have easily been not in.
I loved how you no, no, I loved how you brought that up because a lot of people in America really don't have street smarts. And maybe because
Yeah.
they're just isolated in their
Hmm.
house, and especially like we are talking about before, everyone's like so scared they don't even let their kids play outside. So they actually can't develop that. Because like it sounds like from what you're saying, you did develop that when you were younger. You're
Yeah,
actually
because
allowed to go out
you're
in the
out in the
world.
streets a lot. You see, and that's a funny situation. You learn to pick up on people and vibes of spaces, and then you just if you're smart, you avoid that. Some kids they don't avoid that; they actually look
Right.
into that. But
Yeah.
learning just to scan that and to read situations and people. I've had several times when I was walking down the street and I saw somebody like a mile away. It's like, I don't know, something bad, a bad news alarm going off. I'm going the other way
Mhm.
now.
Right.
And if you lack that, you're gonna end up in situations that aren't, yeah, that aren't really good for you. But if you do have that, I do believe that you can usually go about in each part of the world.
No, such a good point. Such a good point. You
Let's
want to go
say
into
I
that
think
more?
if you translate this to let's say the internet, it's the same thing. You're a lot younger than I am, so I'm sure that you recognize a scam mail like
Ah,
in an
yeah,
instant,
yeah.
because
Such a
you
good
just grew
point.
up in that situation. You know that if you get a telegram message from somebody who's trying to hook up, or a Facebook friend request from a friend you already had as a friend, you're gonna be like, because
Such a good point.
you have a good understanding of what is legit and what is dangerous in the online realm, because that's where you guys grew up, and that's what you see with a lot of older people that don't have that skill set. They get the text from their son or their daughters asking for money. I lost my phone. This is a new number. Can you send me money? I'm like, oh, of course I'm going to send you money. But if I were to do that, if somebody would do that with you, they would be like, nah, they're scamming me. You don't even glance at it twice. You're just like, nah.
No,
And
very
I
good
think
point.
the same thing is when you don't grow up going out into the street, interacting with a lot of people, interacting with kids from the block, because in every neighborhood there's going to be kids that you can play with, and there are going to be kids that are going to beat you up. There's going to be kids that don't have a lot of good intentions and some that do. And if you don't develop that sixth sense of feeling into those things, and yeah, it's the same with the internet. You can be on the internet all day and not get scammed, and you have people that go on the internet for 1 hour and they lost all their money to a Nigerian prince or something.
Hey, Kevin, you're blowing my mind. So this might be a paradox. Maybe America's getting more dangerous because we're not preparing our children for the world, and therefore they're more likely to be victims.
Wow. I don't want to
Like,
be doing any kind of victim blaming here either, because that's a thing also. But I think, yeah, developing situational awareness is a skill
hmm,
that you have to look into, and the only way to do that is to actually, you can't learn how to swim if you don't risk drowning at a certain
yes.
point.
No, this is so true because I like to say compared to other kids, like because my parents came from a different country and now they realize, wow, we're lucky nothing happened to you because things are different here. The way we let you, but they didn't know any better. But like
No, but the
since I
fear
had
police
that,
just got to them now. That's the only
yeah,
thing that changed, because you probably during your time on the street developed a sixth sense. I'm sure
totally,
that if you didn't
yes.
have that, you would have been in situations that were horrible for you and that would have maybe changed the course of your life forever and ever. But because you were on the street, you learned to recognize the situations and you avoided them even without knowing, probably.
No, no, that's so true because I'm always the guy lecturing other people, or I'm getting out, or like, majority of the time they're like, Enley, you're paranoid, you don't know what you're talking about. But when something does happen and I get them out of a situation, they're like, oh my God, Enley, like your street smarts are on point. You're
Mhm.
just your intuition. You know what I'm saying? That when people see it, like to me, it's logic. I'm like, why would you do that? Why would you talk to that guy? Why would you go over there? But like, no, that is so true. Like I could tell you, like in high school in 2010, kids
Mhm.
stopped going outside. That's when I noticed for me in America. And I noticed that with other kids because they can't. I mean, I'm not going to say I'm the best communicator, but like I definitely have way better social skills than someone at my age. Like, and that's just so
Mhm.
true because their parents didn't allow them, get in the pool. They didn't allow them to take any risk. So that's such a good point. That's such a good way of looking at it. Like, wow.
Yeah.
Hey, and I wanted to bring this up with you to piggyback. Now you're going into energy, aura. Can you go into
Yeah.
that more? Because I kind of like that space that you're taking it to.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I really love energy work. And the thing is, uh, we always refer to energy and stuff like that as a very woo woo kind of place.
Hmm.
But it's actually, I see it's broader in a, like in the situation we were just talking about. It's not about just seeing somebody's colors and seeing into their trauma through some kind of spots in their body somewhere. But I think it's picking up on people's energy is it's like learning to taste a really fine wine, to use the same analogy again. when you um, when you meet a lot of people and when you get yourself in a lot of different situations, you can start reading people energy, see where they are actually coming from. And I think that's a super valuable lesson. And yeah, it doesn't have to be all that woo woo and all that hippie, and it's actually a very tangible, usable um, thing, and you can use it for sales. For instance, if
Hmm.
you're a great salesman, that's somebody who can read somebody's energy.
Yes, yes.
because people are going to tell you one thing and they're going to mean another thing. And if you can
Mm,
pick up on that, the vibration of what they're actually conveying with their energy, then you're a master salesman. To make it
right,
really
right,
really practical, because I just want to make it really practical because we only usually use those kinds of words when we're talking about, yeah, the esoteric realm. But I think that people that are really good salespeople, for instance, they have that skill too. They just use different words to talk about it. They don't even know that they're doing it.
right, right. Totally. So
Yeah,
true. Do you
sometimes
believe? Huh?
yeah. And yeah, I'm sorry, I keep interrupting you, man. I don't want to be
No,
doing
you're
that.
okay.
Yeah. No, I think developing that is really cool.
Hey, and you're talking about seeing colors, seeing aura. Can you go into that?
I don't see colors, man. I do pick up on people pretty fast, who they are, what they want, what they need. Um, I feel I'm really empathic, so I really feel into them. I feel where
Yeah.
they're coming from easily. Um, yeah, I get that. I pick up on the feeling more.
I.
If yeah, I don't know
Mhm.
if there's a word for it, because you have clairvoyance. I don't see things, but I feel things. If I
Okay.
really tune into you, I can really feel where you're coming from, what you're going through, and tap into that. Fortunately, it costs me some kind of tuning in, so it's easy for me. If I don't tune in, I can I don't have to feel everybody's vibes all the time. But
Right.
if
Right.
I want to, I can really tune in and just feel where you're coming from, and feel where the physical sensations are and where the emotions stem from. And yeah, that's a that's some kind of a, I don't think it's a gift. It's something I developed throughout the years, I think.
Hmm. Yeah. Because talking to other, and this is going back to the street smarts and stuff
Mhm.
too. Because I've had plenty of people in my circles tell me, "Emily, you're judgmental. You're this and that." And I'm like, "Hey, and maybe because this, eventually I got into this stuff that you're talking about because
Yeah.
I'm very new because I'm like, oh, I think that's what it is. I could see or I could feel because I definitely can't see anything, but like
Hmm.
I could definitely feel people's aura, and because there's
Yeah.
definitely plenty of instances people are like, Enly, how did you predict that? Like legit people tell me like, are you psychic? And like I hate to say it, like I am right majority of the time. I don't want to be
Hmm.
right about people. I want to believe everybody's loving and caring, people coming from a good place, but usually they're not.
Hmm.
And I could pick up on it. And I don't want to tell people like I told you so.
No.
But like I could tell you're in this space way longer than me, obviously with your age and everything. But
Yeah.
like, well, you know what I could tell you? So I noticed my last mushroom trip.
Mm.
This really expanded my like I swear to like I remember in the afterglow, and even
Yeah.
after that it changed. Like I could feel people so much more strongly, and I realized how
Mm.
numb I was. And then I
Ah.
realized, and since you're into breath work and you're in the
Mm.
spiritual space like all of us, but you definitely know way more than me, especially the people you work with. Like well, how about I ask this? Does breath work and the other things you do play a part in that to build those like powers, I guess, per se?
I think um, I needed it to build it,
Hmm.
or to not per se to build it, but to be able to handle them.
Hmm.
I think, and I think breath work, and especially meditation, even more meditation than breath work, I think,
Okay.
are tools that can that give you the how do you say this in English? Because sometimes it's hard to translate on the spot.
No, you're okay. Take your time.
It allows you to actually use the things that are inside you. It brings
Yeah.
you down. It grounds you. It's this. Yeah, I think meditation, even more than breath work,
Wow.
gave me a
Okay.
better perspective. I
Okay.
I use basically basically I use breath work to be better at meditating. The breath work
Mm,
is never my end
yes.
goal. The breath
Uh-huh.
work is a vehicle I use to get deeper into my meditations. And my meditations aren't the end goal as well. The meditations are actually a way to be better, to move about in this world. So yeah, we have breath work to better meditate, and to meditate to be a better Kevin. Because at the end of my life, I want to be the best Kevin there's ever been.
Yes. Yes.
I don't mean of all the Kevins. I mean just me. I want
Right,
to be
right.
the best person I could have possibly have become, with the physicalities and the brain and the body and everything that I got here with. So I want to take my experience here to the furthest level I can take it.
And you're saying meditation's the foundation, I guess,
Yeah,
of all
meditation. Yeah, that's for me. That's the big one.
you know what? I liked how you brought that up because I like to say because yeah, I got heavy into meditation in like college.
Hmm.
I mean, I liked it beforehand. No, I was definitely into meditation even like high school, but I realized that's pretty young compared to other people, but I didn't have a teacher. When I went to
Hmm.
college, I actually took a Zen meditation class,
Yeah,
and a lot of people talk shit about college, but that was the one class. Oh, that till this day still helps me.
yeah, yeah. I can imagine.
And
Yeah.
I actually learned how to meditate, and I realized like, oh, because obviously you're doing it by yourself, but like, no, this is helpful if you have a teacher. And then I
Mm,
saw, and I actually got this from a random, but Arnold Schwarzenegger.
yeah.
I, I read his autobiography, but when he was bodybuilding and doing he was running a concrete business, he was going to
Yeah, he was doing
school.
a lot of things. I heard that
Yeah.
too. I saw a TikTok on that somewhere,
Okay.
I think.
He got into transcendental
Oh,
meditation.
wow. Yeah. Hmm.
And he said that it was night and day. He said he didn't believe in it. He's like, this is bullshit. This might be a waste of my time. But he was desperate. He's like, everyone's saying this helps. I'm gonna do it. And he's not, and he wasn't that type of guy to believe in that stuff.
Hmm.
And he did it. He's like, I'm gonna do it for 30 days. If I don't get any results in 30 days, I'm dropping it. And he did it for 30 days. And I tell people the same thing with meditation. He did it for 30 days and night and day, his life before and his life after.
Mm.
And in
Yeah.
college, I took it more seriously, and Arnold was right. I'm like,
Yeah.
holy shit.
I think
I'm like,
there's a lot of things to say about that. The first thing about transcendental meditation, it's a really good technique, but it's not better than the other techniques except for one part.
hmm,
It's more expensive than most meditation classes you can take.
expensive. Okay, I don't know much about it.
Yeah, so it's a little more expensive than the usual meditation courses you can take, and I believe that's one of the key features why it works. So for instance, I'm just saying a number here, I could be
Ah,
wrong, but let's say it's a
all right.
thousand dollars to do the course. um I'm just picking a number here, so it might be wrong, but it's a little more expensive. It's not a $1 app or something. So if you take the $1,000 course, then you're gonna be like, I should be doing this because I paid a lot of money to do it. So you're gonna be inclined to do it twice a day for 20 minutes. But either which meditation technique you're gonna use consistently for 30 to 60 or even more days for 2 times a day for at least 20 minutes is gonna work. The thing is, with the transcendental meditation, it costs a little more money. So people are going to be more inclined to do so. Because if you have a free app or just a $1 or $2 or $3 app, you're going to be after 4 days like, I don't feel like it, bah, that's okay. And you drop doing it. With the transcendental meditation, if you paid a lot of money, you're either going to say to yourself, I need to be picking this up because I paid a lot of money for it, or some people will. And if you're not doing it, maybe your partner will. It's like, hey, you spend all this money on this meditation thing, and I don't see you doing it. What's the deal? We could have gone to Cabo with that money, so maybe pick it up again. So I think that's one of the reasons why transcendental meditation has such a huge success rate. Not to say it's not a good technique; it's a really really good technique, but there are a lot of other really good techniques that would also work if you put in the time, the effort, and the consistency. It's just a good system because there is this, yeah. there's a little hook with the money thing. We are like that. People are like that. If you don't put in a lot of if you don't put in energy, you're not engaged as much.
I love how you brought that up because I recently just learned that concept in my
Mm-hmm.
business
Mm-hmm.
because like I thought I was helping people out, making it cheaper for them. But if anything, I was holding them back. And then I would get more criticism. I would get more like just fight back. I'm like, what the hell? And then I noticed my higher paying clients, and I almost felt guilty too, giving them this price tag, and because it usually scares them, but they actually do better. I'm like, damn. I'm like, you really do get what you paid for. So I know I loved how you brought that up,
Yeah.
and it is an energy thing. You can even get like more into spirituality and stuff. Is like
Mm-hmm.
again they put more energy because everyone majority of people have jobs. They give their life force basically for an
Yeah.
hour of payment. So like that is so true. I loved how you brought that up and you brought it to transcendental meditation. I love that, man. I love that.
Yeah. And I also think if you go for, especially like you did when you were young, um, that's why I think more kids should meditate. But nobody knows. I don't think a lot of kids will. I did when I was young, but I was just a freak in that regard. But I don't think a lot. But the thing is, for instance, you're into martial arts too, right?
Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
When did you start?
Oh man, I could tell you. Well, formally, see, I've always loved. I couldn't even tell you when I first. I mean,
But you
I
were a
got into
kid, right?
well, my parents didn't put me in any classes or anything. They didn't
Mm,
do that. I mean, I'm an immigrant. They're like, "What the fuck is this?" Like
mm,
it's hard living in America and everything. They thought it was a waste of time. But I got into mostly like movies and anime and like
mm.
cartoons and stuff. And I really got into a lot of people wouldn't call it a martial art, but like wrestling, folk
Yeah.
style wrestling that we practice in
That's
America.
one of that's really badass martial art, man, wrestling.
Oh yeah,
But anyway, the point I wanted to make
go
was
ahead.
that when you learn something as a kid, like for instance, if you do judo classes from
Yes.
age like I don't know, like maybe 8 till 16, you're gonna learn so much more than if you do twice the amount of years and you only start at 25 or 30. It's just it gets ingrained in your development. The same thing with guitar. If you learn
Mm.
guitar when you're 6 years old and you play, if you take classes for like maybe 5 years, you're probably gonna be really good at guitar. Even if you don't play for like 20 years and then you're 30 and you're like, "Ah, I'm gonna try this again," you're probably gonna be a lot quicker to to get there. So yeah, learning kids how to meditate would be awesome. I just don't want to be the one doing it because I don't think they're going to appreciate it a lot. But that would
Oh
be
no.
really good.
Oh, that would be like you need a master, you know,
Yeah.
to do that. Like that would be because I train for 5 years. I trained children in martial arts from
Yeah.
like
Wow.
jujitsu, wrestling,
Mm,
boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, MMA, like everything, everything.
wow.
And that was a pain in the ass, like just to get them to focus. And I
Mm.
couldn't even imagine meditation. We'd
I'm
be
not
running
doing it,
around the
man.
room. That's what it would be.
No,
It would be
no.
daycare.
Yeah, you could use breath work maybe, but and
Mhm.
that's one of the ways that breath work can work is to if you do breath work for a while, um, it's okay to sit there. If we do like the Wim Hof breathing for 5 minutes and then just now close your eyes and just observe, you're gonna be there for maybe like I would be there for like 10 minutes. Like whoa, you're
Right.
feeling a little high. It's a little, it's yeah. There's a little buzz going, so you can be there, and that's a way in for meditation maybe. So yeah, yeah, that might work, but I'm not gonna try it. It's yeah. Mm,
Especially these days, ADHD, there's all this technology because I
yeah.
could even tell training these kids. I'm not even that old. Like I'm 29 and I'm
Mm.
like training these kids. I'm like, this is not how I was when I was a kid.
No,
And
it's
then
a
I
different
talk to older
situation.
people. Yeah, because I thought it was just me. Maybe I was being judgmental. But then
Mm.
like talking to older people, they're like, yeah, you are right, Enly. This is a whole new breed of children. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a different world. It's the world has just changed so much um since I was young. It's a completely different yeah, it's a completely different game. So they need completely different skills to survive too. So I'm
Yes.
happy they're different because the 8-year-old me wouldn't survive in this world probably.
Hmm. Right. Yeah,
The
it's
skills.
insane. Change is good though, because
Yeah,
that'd
it
be
is.
pretty boring, right? If the world
Yeah,
was the
it
same
is
since we
good.
were born.
Sometimes it's a little. I have my own kids, and there were a lot of things that I used to do or visit when I was younger, and I was always like, yeah, when I have my kids, I'm gonna take them here, and a lot
Mhm.
of those things are just gone.
Oh
It's
yeah?
like, yeah.
Can you give me an
So,
example?
um, there was this club I used to work at when I was younger, and
Mhm.
I was always like, yeah, if it's yeah, I'm gonna take them there one day and say I used to work here. I was but yeah, it's just doesn't exist anymore. So yeah. Mm.
Right, yeah. Are you saying the business itself doesn't exist?
Yeah, yeah, clubbing is
Okay.
gone. So
Oh
that's
yeah?
something.
In your
Yeah,
country?
yeah,
Clubbing? Really?
clubbing is dead. It used to be. It's Belgium used to be a really big country for clubs, and most of
Okay.
them are gone. We
Wow.
have it's different now. People have parties.
Oh, it's like private?
Yeah, it's different. The thing that used to happen when I was growing up, and I think that's a big difference with the way things are going now. We didn't have phones when I was young. When I was like 18, we didn't have a cell
Right.
phone. So when I was 18, 20, there were no cell phones. So if you wanted to speak to one of your friends, you had to call them at their house,
Yes.
and then first the mom would pick up. It's like, hi Mrs. Can I talk to? And then they would call him, and he would
Right.
come down, and you would have this conversation. So there was no way, for instance, on a Friday night, if you were home alone, if you're just bored, now you have your phone and you'd be texting. But when I was young, it was like when you were home alone and you were kind of bored, it's like, I'm going to that bar or that club because that's probably, I don't know, but if and one of my friends is going out, it's going to be there. So we would go somewhere on our own, hoping, kind of expecting, but hoping to meet someone who was also just going there on their own, also hoping to kind of meet someone they kind of knew. Um, but the thing now is that nobody seems to go anywhere without having an appointment there.
That's such a good point, man. Oh my god. See,
So
I was
we went to a
yeah.
club. We were standing there, sitting there, or in a bar, just hanging out. And he's there. And then you'd meet some people, and it was all very spontaneous. And now you see people meeting up because they're sitting at home at the same time at them. And it's like, are you going there? Yeah, I'm going there. And you go there at exactly the time to meet that person. And if somebody was to walk in alone, it would be like, are you a freak just going to a bar or a club alone? What's wrong with you? You're a psychopath. I've seen
Right.
movies about people like you. But in my days, that was actually the way you would go. You were like, yeah, on Friday, most of people are going to that specific bar, or most of the people that I like enjoying hanging out with are going to that club. So yeah, I'll be there. And that allowed you to it made you more proficient into getting to know new people, and there was a lot of spontaneity, and that's completely gone.
Man, I love how you yeah, I love how you brought that up because I can't relate too much to that, just a little bit, but all my friends, because I was born 95,
Hmm.
just so you know my generation, and all my friends growing up, they started getting a phone basically when the iPhone came out, and this was like 2008 and
Yeah.
stuff.
Hmm.
You know, everyone's getting the iTouches and stuff. Everyone started getting their own phones, and I was late to the party. I'm like 12, 13 years old. My parents are like, "What the fuck are you gonna do with that? Who are you gonna call?"
Yeah.
You know, you're not that busy. You're 12 years old. But I was late to the party
Hmm.
because 2011 I got a phone. And I
Hmm.
and I was that guy just showing up in places. Like those few years right there, I realized I saw the change and stuff because that is weird to do. And obviously, you went through so much of your life without that, and that's such a good point. Like, it's just you are kind of a weirdo if you just show up to places, but that's what places are for.
Yeah,
That's
and
what you
that's
do.
just gone. So now people, there used to be like a bar, and there was like, yeah, that's where this group of friends kind of hangs out,
Mm,
and those places are all gone. So now what you do have are like parties from some kind of concepts, like a techno party with that DJ at that time at that
mm.
venue. But there used to be places that you were sure every Saturday at that time there's going to be people there. Those places, they don't really exist anymore. And when they do, it's just because they throw themed parties every time.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, this is a 90s party at that time, but it's not like people are just showing up there.
right.
Also,
See,
just sitting at home isn't as boring as it used to be. It's, man, you can't imagine how boring it was to just sit by yourself at home. There
yeah,
was
good
this
point.
this window of where there were good TV shows on, was like maybe 8 p.m. till 10 p.m., or maybe 7 p.m. till 11. Maybe that was the window. If you wanted to watch television, that was it. There was no
Mhm.
social media, so you're either reading books or just sitting watching the ceiling or watching music. So yeah, yeah, you would be like, I'm tired of sitting home. And if in this window of television there wasn't a good movie on, it was like, yeah, there's nothing on. I'm just gonna either watch the ceiling or just walk out and just find somewhere to go. So just,
So
I people don't know what being bored is like anymore, I think.
no, that's so true. Like again, I could relate a little bit because my parents are older. They didn't
Hmm.
buy me all this technology. Like I didn't have video games growing. Well, I take that back. I did have some video games, but I didn't have like the newest game system that costs like $500. Like my parents were like, "What? You just gonna play? We're gonna spend $500 so you play video games? Go outside." But in that little period of time that I didn't have a phone, because there would always be a couple parks that I'll go
Yeah,
to that I knew kids would go to. And
yeah,
during my lifetime, that stopped because I would go to parks and be like, there's nobody here. And when I
yeah.
got the phone, I ended up in that culture.
Yeah, it's different. And also, you mentioned video games, but video games in 1995 or 2000, maybe even, they were fun for 2 hours, three tops. But you had to be really, really, really into a video game to play longer than that.
Right. And
Now
now you
you
could play with
can
your friends,
now you
talk to
can
people.
play for, yeah, you can play till you literally drop dead and not be bored.
Yeah, that happens. That actually
Yeah,
happens.
it
Not
happens
to be
because it's
morbid,
so
but
fun. There's so much fun in playing. They're so amazing. I'm just lucky. My eye hand dexterities thing is just too slow to play modern kind of games. So whenever my sons hook me up on the console, I'm dead within 2 seconds. So yeah, there's no way for me to get addicted to that. But when I see them playing and when I hear them talking to their friends and just being interactive, it's like, oh my god, if this would have been around when I was 15 years old, I wouldn't have gotten into meditation. I wouldn't have to gotten into yoga, into strength training. I would just have sit in my room or sat in my room for the my entire youth. I'm so sure of that.
that's such a good point, man, because like I'm telling you, like my parents didn't grow up with that shit. They didn't think I needed it.
Mhm.
And like they didn't want to waste money like that, especially everything in America is expensive. And now when I think about it, maybe that is why I got into those things from other kids, because in school people would tell me, they're like, I don't have these video games. People would call me poor in school because I played outside all the time. They're like, he
Yeah.
doesn't have video games to play inside. I'm like,
Mhm.
outside's better than a video game. I did like video games when I was younger, but I'm like, nothing beats the real world.
Nah,
Just
video
run.
games are really cool though. It kind
Oh,
of beats
absolutely,
the
they're
real world
amazing.
sometimes.
Sometimes.
Sometimes it does. But no, it taps into your creativity, and I think being bored is just, yeah, that's one step away of being inspired.
Yes. Yes, totally.
And inspiration is one of the feeling inspired is one of the most beautiful things you can feel when you just sit somewhere and you get an original thought or an original idea or just some kind of burst of inspiration that feels really, really, really good. And the thing we do on our phones is recycle inspiration from other people. We kind of get the feeling when you're
Yes.
scrolling and you find a post that kind of resonates and you're like, oh, this is great. Ah, this is gold, man. Oh, I love how he said that. That feels like inspiration, but it's actually secondhand inspiration.
Damn.
And
So
I get it. You want the inspiration and you want lots of it, and then you want to curate the inspiration of other people. But there's no the, there is no comparison to actually coming up with an own idea and then
I,
just finding that's true inspiration. And we yeah, we just have so much secondhand inspiration that our own inspiration doesn't feel that great anymore.
that's such a good point. That's such like we almost outsource
Yeah.
inspiration
Yeah,
to
we
our
outsource
feed.
inspiration and it feels kind of the same, but it's not at all the same.
See, like we built technology to help us, but
Mm.
obviously in practice, you realize like, oh, this is actually in a lot of ways, of course it's helping us, but in a lot of ways it's hurting us. Like we're not using it properly.
Yeah, that's it.
Like holy shit, like the inspiration one, man, I didn't even think about that.
Hmm. Hmm.
That didn't even come. I wasn't inspired to think that. Right? Like that blows my mind. See, this is why I like talking to people that are older than me because you lived
Hmm.
in a whole different world. You know,
Yeah,
all that stuff, like that's so true. Like you're making me think so much more about it. Like obviously life is amazing with technology. See, this is
it
why I
is.
like getting using social media and all this stuff being more deliberate with it because now I'm
Mm.
using it the right way. I see
Yeah,
the wrong ways I'm using it. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And
Because
obviously,
it is a wonderful tool. It is amazing. Like a
yeah,
car is a
yeah,
wonderful tool too. But yeah, if you take your car to go to your mailbox, if you're then maybe
yeah.
you're not using it properly, and that's kind of how we're using our phones. Me too. I struggle with it too. It's just it's so darn amazing, man. It's so great a tool. You can literally be on your phone all day and not be bored 1 second, not feel bad about it. It's just some kind of thought in the back of your head, I should be doing something else. But actually, you're numbing that thought by the scrolling you're doing. So,
Mm.
yeah, you're fine. So, you could throw your entire life away, your entire purpose, and don't even feel bad about it.
And that's
That's
that's the
crazy.
scary part.
That's
That's
so
that's when it
scary.
gets dark
Mm.
because
Yeah.
it's
On the
like,
other hand, that allows, I tell my sons that too. It's like, on one hand, the competition is so much bigger now because, um, yeah, a lot of amazing people are showing up and showing what they can do. So it's hard to stand out anymore. I remember
mhm.
when I was younger and somebody could play like a 15-year-old that could play like Hotel California on a guitar. That was like mind blown. Now
Yeah,
you
yeah.
see 6-year-olds shredding away like Prince, or it's like, oh my god! If you want to stand out, it's going to be so much harder because there are 6-year-olds doing things that I can't even dream of doing. Even if you were to bring a gun to my head, it's like from now on, your only thing you're going to do is learn how to play the guitar. Until you can play this, I'll never be as good as that 5-year-old shredding on TikTok. It's just crazy, and there's so many of them. But on the other hand, there are so many people wasting away their lives that it is kind of easy to be one of the top 5 percenters.
Yeah, totally,
The one
totally.
percenters are just freaks of nature. It's like, what the fuck is this evening? Is this even? But you can be in the top 10%, I think, quite easily if you're young and ambitious and willing to put in the work.
No, very true because seeing people with their habits with their phone, and I've drastically changed my habits with my phone.
How did you
And
do
I,
that?
what'd you say?
How did you do that?
Oh, you know what I did recently? This was
Hmm.
it's been 2 weeks. One of the best things I ever done in my life little extreme, but I turned off all notifications off my phone.
Mm.
Even text messages, phone calls. My mother could call me and I wouldn't know.
Oh,
A little
wow.
extreme, a little extreme.
Yeah.
I know,
Yeah, I know.
but like my productivity, boom, just
Yeah.
this has been 2 weeks, just blew up because I realized I'm the notification isn't notifying me. Like if anything, the, it's just crazy the relationship with the technology. Like I realized it's just Pavlov's dogs. Like you know about that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the bell. The bell rings, I go get it. I'm not even thinking about it. My
Mm.
phone controls me. Like I've been like I was really ashamed of it. Like when I came to the realization, like I'm not picking up my phone because I want to. I'm picking up because the phone wants me to.
Mm.
And I took everything off, and my productivity has gone through the roof in these
Yeah.
2 weeks.
I
And
got
I
this
realized
thing
how
on
addicted I am.
I got this thing a week ago on I found it on an ad on Instagram or Facebook. I don't know. It's called Brick,
Brick, okay.
and it's like a little cube, like this big, and it's magnetic, so you can stick it to the fridge, and then it has some kind of RFID on it, and when you tap your phone to it, it turns your phone into brick mode. So when you have tapped it, you can select what you want to use. So when I have tapped it, I can only use my camera because I want to be talking to my camera. I leave
Mm,
my phone on because people who call me are rare. So when I get a phone call, it's kind of important. I
mhm,
have WhatsApp on because usually so I have a few things on, but Facebook's off, Telegram's off, and everything that I know is kind of sucking me into this realm, like Instagram, it's all turned off, and I just have my phone and my camera and like the basic stuff I have with me, all the things I can use to actually create things, and it's
yeah,
awesome. It's been great because otherwise I was like turning off the notification and stuff, but
mm,
now, and you can only turn it back on when you tap it again. So the thing I do now is in the evening at like 8 or 9 p.m. I tap it and I put the brick far away somewhere back. And then when I go to bed upstairs, yeah, it's like a really hassle to go
mhm.
turn it back on. So, and then usually when I go out, I just leave it off too. And I'm making this thing of trying to make a long enough stretch of not having these things on while still having the access to my phone when I need it. And I
No,
think,
interesting.
yeah,
I've
for me,
definitely been
that
looking
works
for.
great. My productivity has gone up tremendously as well.
Absolutely. I mean, just get into social media because you want people to share your posts, you want your business to grow. So you
Mm,
got to understand the psychology. And then you see the psychology, like it's just insane. It's like, well, this is affecting everybody else. This should be affecting me too.
mm.
And usually our egos are like, oh, we're better than other people. We got better
Nah.
habits. Nah, we're probably just as bad as anybody else. And I
Mm,
started realizing that with myself heavy, like, oh my God, it's so like the notification when I did that, I realized how addicted I was to my tech. I think the reason why, I mean, for all of us, but like
mm,
for me, it hit me hard because I'm like the reason why I'm in this spot in my life right now because I want to improve. I'm not happy with my
mm,
situation. You know, I got higher standards, but one of the biggest things is my phone, just doing bullshit, not
mm.
the business part, but just arguing with people, just negative content, just being distracted, or like what you brought up with inspiration, blocking that. You know,
Yeah.
like just I'm so pissed off about it. Like I'm going to war with my phone right now, honestly.
Now, the thing I noticed I think it's a few years back, and I was doing all the right things for so long. I was doing the meditation, I was doing the red light therapy, the sauna, the cold baths, I took all the supplements that everybody was saying you should be taking. So I was doing all those things. And at a certain point, there was another commercial coming by or another new thing that people were recommending on doing some kind of technique or whatever. And I was like, and then it dawned on me, I don't need to do anything extra. My salvation is not going to come from doing more.
Yes.
It's by leaving out stuff.
I
You
think
can have all the great supplements and everything, but if you're still eating shit on top of that, that's the thing that's going to kill you. You can have
yes,
AG1 in the morning and the this and the that and this vitamin and this probiotic and then the salt water and whatever. But if on top of all that you're doing shitty things too, that's the thing that's going to kill you. Same with all the great habits. You can do the meditation, you can do this, blah blah blah. But my salvation came from finally figuring out it's not about adding something extra to my routine. It's about leaving stuff out of my unconscious routine.
no, totally. I want to say, because it clicked with me. I was Alan Watts. I don't know if you're a fan
Oh
of
yeah,
him.
I love him. Yeah, he's the
I got
he's
this
he's
from
the
him.
first YouTuber actually ever.
Really?
Even before,
Oh,
yeah, he had he didn't go on YouTube, of course, but he was the
content
first
creator.
one that had ideas that were, and he recorded all of them. So he was the first content creator. Maybe YouTuber is a
Right.
bad word, but he was actually the first philosophical actual content creator that didn't use like just his writings. But yeah, so the
Agreed.
speeches are amazing. There's
Yeah.
this awesome
Mhm.
song. I'm gonna send you the song I'm thinking about.
Okay. Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's a really great song. You should listen to it once if you're high once or something. It's like
I got you.
you're gonna be like, "Phew, wow!" It's just a speech of his, and it's music all over it, and it's awesome. But what was your point?
Oh, well, I learned that with Alan Watts. It's not
Mm,
what you add, it's what you take away.
yeah.
And obviously your meditation practice is the same thing. Like there's no problems in your life, it's just your thoughts. Take
Hmm.
them away. No matter how stressed you are. And I've definitely experienced that multiple times. I'm like, I didn't need to fix a problem or do this or add that or more money. I just needed to just sit down and be quiet or go into nature.
Yeah.
That's all I needed. It's like, damn, that simple.
Yeah.
Life's pretty damn easy
Usually.
for me.
It usually is. Sometimes you have to grind through something, but a lot of times you just have to take some time to. It's like when you have this laptop and you put in a lot of video editing content and it just it keeps.
Mm.
Sometimes you just need to be like, I'm just gonna let
Yeah,
it be for a while. Let it let the fans do its work. Let the processor do
good
its
point.
thing, and I'll get back to it in a minute or 10. And if it works for a laptop, it's certainly sometimes uh, works for us. The thing is, um, I see that a lot that people they want to relax, and if you really want to relax, in my opinion, you have to go into your body and feel, process feelings. That's what you do in your dream as well. You process feelings. So you have to get out of your thinking mind to really get into some relaxation. And I see a lot of people, and I'm guilty of that too sometimes when I'm not aware. Finding relaxation in using the phone is also finding relaxation using your thinking mind. And
No,
that's,
totally.
yeah, and that's just not getting you anywhere. You had a rough week, it's been intense, and then you're like scrolling or Netflix or whatever, but you're
Yes, yes.
still in your head. So sometimes you need to find a way to get into your body, and going out in nature is an amazing thing to do so.
No, that's so true because I remember because late at night I realized like I went through a period of just like exhaustion. I was tired. I'm like trying to find more energy. I was looking at my schedule more. And I'm like, I noticed at the end of my schedule, like I was like I have some time to watch something at the night. I was watching like mafia movies and stuff.
Mhm.
And I'm like, this isn't relaxing. This is like people shooting people and doing bullshit. And the clients I work with, they talk about playing video games like at the end of the night. And they're like, that's my time to relax. I'm like, you playing Call of Duty? You going around acting like you're a military like operative, going around shooting people on mission? That's relaxing. Like, think about that's not relaxing. That's not you're active as hell. But that's
Yeah,
so true.
but you get distracted from the way you're feeling, or you're really feeling, and that kind of feels like relaxation, just like a Big Mac kind of
Yes.
tastes like real food.
Yeah. No. Great way to put it right there. Great way to put it. Yeah, you're just
Mm.
distracted. That's all it is. He just
Yeah.
took you away from your problems.
Yeah, and sometimes that's all you need. I'm not saying it's not a valuable thing to have in your life. Sometimes you
Yeah, yeah.
just need some distraction from all the shit that's going on. But at the end of the day, you need to be aware that you're gonna have to face it someday. And you
Yes.
can be like, I'm not facing it tonight. It's been a rough day. I'm just gonna shoot some people up in Call of Duty.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's just you're just postponing the confrontation with the way you're feeling. And sometimes
No.
it's okay to postpone it, to put it into the future, but there's going to be a time, there's going to be a time of reckoning, and either you choose the time of reckoning or life chooses the time of reckoning. And usually when life chooses your time of reckoning, you're in for a ride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Agreed.
Same with change. Sometimes it's just time to change, and you don't always choose the time when it's time to change. Sometimes life chooses for you.
Yeah, damn. I mean, I guess that's what meditation's all about, right?
Yeah.
Facing that problem.
Hmm. I think so.
Because that's
Being
why it's so
aware of it.
difficult. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the most difficult thing in the world, and actually it's the easiest thing because you just have to let go of all the resistance, and the resistance you're creating costs so much energy that letting go of that resistance is actually the easiest thing to do. But on the same time, it's the hardest thing to do. So it's kind of a, yeah, it's very contradictory, but it's yeah, that's just the way it is.
Man, meditation, like stuff like that is hilarious. There'd be times I'm just cracking up. I'm laughing to myself. I'm like, oh my God, what is wrong with me? What am I doing? That's so true.
Ah,
Like right there, that's hilarious too.
mm,
Why are you so
yeah.
stressed out? It's because you won't chill out,
We're all
be
just
by
trying to
yourself.
figure things out. Nobody really knows what he's doing. Is easy.
Right.
I have my idea of what's going on here in this realm, and um, I have this model in my head of how things are supposed to be, but actually none of us know. For all we know, when we die, we go up to a place and there's a guy there sitting there, and how many? And the first questions he asks is, "How many rocks did you bring?" It's like, rocks? Was I supposed to bring
No,
rocks? Yeah,
fuck.
you're supposed to be buried with rocks, and the more rocks you bring, the better seating you have in this heaven place. It's like, damn, why didn't
Right.
anybody tell me? So we have no idea what we're playing. What's the end game? What's so just trying to figure it out. I'm guessing it's not a rock collecting competition, but could be.
And
Hmm.
I feel, and that's when anxiety sets in. You can't control anything, and that's a
Yeah,
huge problem.
yeah. You have a lot of anxiety.
I mean, I don't know. I well, I kind of meant just the modern world in general.
Mm.
I mean, hell, I would say people have definitely told me I've had anxiety, but I'm like, no, I like to say I'm thinking things through or I'm excited, or maybe I'm labeling it. Maybe I'm just changing the label. I don't know if that's healthy or not,
Yeah.
but I've definitely had people like, no, you seem like an anxious person. I'm like, no, I'm a person on top of things.
Ah, yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know.
Does it cripple you?
Uh,
Does it make you do things that you regret afterwards?
oh,
Otherwise,
that
it's
I
just
regret.
fuel. No.
I guess is a good way to put it. No, I wouldn't say I regret. I would say it helps me. I call it a notification.
Yeah.
Biological notification.
I
You're
think
anxious. Oh
that
shit.
I think I think something like anxiety can be fuel. You just need to make sure you have the vessel to burn the fuel. So, for instance, if your natural level of anxiety has a kerosene level of fuel, then you better be like an F-16 fighter plane
Right.
or something. And if your anxiety is more like diesel kind of fuel, then yeah, you'll be fine riding a truck. So if you know for yourself that there's a lot of zzz, a lot of vibration in me, and when I have anxiety, it's gonna all the way up, then you better have this like F-16 fighter plane kind of body and mind to deal with that kind of fuel. And
Mhm.
when you do develop that kind of mind and body that can handle that intensity of fuel, then you're going places, man. You're going places.
Another
So
great analogy. I love that.
yeah, analogy is my thing. I keep I keep coming up with them. I should be writing them down somewhere.
Oh yeah, definitely. That's a tweet right there. That's a thread right there. That's
Yeah,
perfect.
I should be doing that.
Hey, at least
Mm.
you got the recording. Just go back, just write it down.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, I
But
sometimes think I should be because I talk in analogies a lot, so I think it's an easy way to put things. That's just how they come into my head. So maybe I should take it out of my head too. But conversations like these help.
yeah, so many people, and I'm sure, like, I mean, I don't know what the culture is like in Belgium, but like, there's
Mm,
so many people around me because America's just a big pill culture. You
mm,
got a problem, you're feeling bad any moment, you go straight to the doctor.
mm,
Because my parents are old school, like, they're kids growing up, like, getting on all this medication. And, like, I didn't understand it growing up. My parents didn't grow up with that either. And they're even like they're from Albania and they're old school Albanians. Like my parents are a lot older. They're not young people. They're not Generation
mm,
X, you know? Like
mm-hmm.
I'm like, "Oh shit." I'm like and seeing like the whole pill culture and it's even increasing that anybody has a problem, you sound like a crazy person in this day and age. Tell them go exercise, go meditate. They're like, "What the
Yeah.
fuck?" Like I'm not you're telling me not to listen to my doctor? Hell no.
It's a crazy thing. I recently read A Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. Have you
Oh,
read it?
awesome. Man, I'm like a quarter of the way through.
Yeah, because
Scary book.
that's just how if you go through with this pill culture, that's where we're gonna end up in a
Yes.
way. Just feeling bad is frowned upon and not
Yeah.
okay, and then just let's medicate the hell out of it. Um, but I think that maybe yeah, just feeling bad. I think sometimes people forget that feeling bad is just a part of feeling.
Right. And it gives you contrast because when
Yeah,
the good comes, feels even better.
yeah, definitely. And I'm not arguing that sometimes when life gets really rough, that you might need some chemical
Mhm.
assistance. You definitely, if you need to, you definitely need to. But I think sometimes we forget that it's okay to feel bad once in a while.
Right.
That's just part of of our human experience.
Yeah,
Um,
like I get in arguments and stuff because I grew up a little bit differently than
mm,
like other kids around me. But like because like I totally believe in mental illness. Gotta say this
mm,
beforehand. Like and
yeah.
I've definitely suffered from it. I believe if you're a human being, you suffer from it. And if you say
Mhm.
you don't, well, there's probably something wrong with you. There's probably something else wrong with you, or you're lying.
Mm,
So, but like, yeah, like, there's so many people around me. They even claimed like, "Oh, you haven't gone through this. You don't know what you're talking about." I'm like, "Yes, I have gone through this." I like to say like maybe I'm further ahead because I've processed my emotions. But like everything shouldn't be running to a pill. You're actually holding yourself back in a
mm,
lot of ways, and you should process through emotions. And like I say, I call them well, I didn't make this up. I actually got this from a trainer that
mm,
I watch online. But he says these are notifications for self preservation. This is what he says:
mm,
anxiety, depression, all these things. That means you gotta get up and do something. You gotta get up and change something. And
yeah.
I tell people that all the time. And but people are like, no, you're bullshit Anley. You don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, how? But if you don't, if you're gonna let it destroy you, because it should help you build you up. Because you look at all great people, they're all mentally ill. You know what I'm saying? They did things,
Yeah.
to help to obviously improve themselves. They didn't stay in
Mhm.
the same place. They grew. Basically, what I'm trying to say. And
But
there's no such thing as like someone that's mentally ill free. That's like saying I've never been physically ill. That would be so you never had a cold, you never
mm,
gotten the flu, you never got a virus. What are you
mhm.
talking about? You're bullshitting.
I was working on a post this morning where I kind of I came up with this. or maybe somebody else came up with this, but it felt like a true inspiration from me in the moment. Um, and I was thinking on maybe I should do a talking clip, or maybe I should write it down and just do the screenshot. But the thing wanted to post was, every time you say, I don't ever want to feel like this anymore, is like a brick you put in your own prison you're building.
Yes, totally,
Because
100%.
that's eventually it, because you encounter a situation, I don't want to feel like this anymore, so you put up a brick. This is, and then one brick doesn't make a prison, but if you keep doing that long enough, if you're like, I don't want to feel that anymore, so I'm not going to have these kind of relationships anymore. I don't want to feel this anymore, so I'm not going to be doing that kind of activity anymore. I don't want to feel this anymore, so I'm not going to talk to these kind of people anymore. And every time you say, I don't want to feel like this anymore, you put up another brick. And after a while, you're going to be surrounded by bricks, and you're going to be surrounded by a wall and a ceiling, and life is just going to be very, very restricted. And I think owning up to things is, it's uh, like, I prefer not to feel like this anymore, but it's not going to stop me from doing what I really want.
Yes.
Once you get that game, once you step into that reality, it's like, if I can avoid feeling like this, I'm definitely going to do so. But it's not going to stop me from moving around. I'm not going
Yes.
to
Yes.
place a brick in the ground and be like, no, this is not something I want to do anymore. Then you maintain the 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 freedom to roam about and to feel whatever kind of feelings, because sometimes feeling, yeah, if you want to go somewhere, sometimes you have to move through certain kind of feelings.
It's so true. Like, I feel like in America, so many people have built their own prisons because
Mm,
it's so hard to talk about mental health to people. And I talk about this with my friends, and like, obviously, I try to be open. I'm like, hey, I help myself by doing this.
mm,
But it's crazy too. Like, people use their mental illness like it's almost like I am
mm,
depressed. It's a part of my personality. This is who I am. But we don't do this with physical illness. Like, I have the flu. Like, I am the flu. I am always sick. Like, no, that sounds absurd. But we do it with mental illness. And even when
mm.
you talk about this with people, like like depression, for example, like people are defending depression. I'm like, damn. I'm like, you're talking like the way I talk, like I'm talking about your depression, like I'm attacking it. I'm like, you gotta do this, you gotta do that. You're defending it like a relative or a best friend or your wife. It's like, this isn't a part of you, man. And you definitely learn that in meditation too. Like, this is not a part of my ego.
Yeah, it's just a difficult realm to tread, because you can't go into people's minds, because I do believe that some people are genuinely depressed and genuinely have issues that
Yeah.
can't be solved by just going out and doing some
Right.
yeah, some yes, a workout. But a lot of them maybe are. It's just you can't. Yeah, it's hard to be, yeah, to figure out which is which. With a
Yes. Yes.
physical illness,
Totally.
it's pretty common. You can see if this is this a flu, or do you have some kind of do you have like multiple sclerosis, which is something completely different. You can heal
Yes.
from the
Yes.
flu, but this is something we're gonna have to manage in a way. And the thing with mental illnesses, it's so different to actually pinpoint what it is. Is this just some kind of flu that we can heal with some vitamin C and some chicken soup? I am just making
Mhm.
things really, yeah, very, yeah, you know what I'm talking. So I'm
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
saying you
Totally.
can heal flu with vitamin C, but you know what I'm trying to say. So, or do you really have like a big disease like multiple sclerosis or some kind of heart condition that won't go away whatever you're gonna do? And with mental illnesses, that's really hard to do. So you might be talking to somebody with multiple sclerosis and say, yeah, but you should just work out and you're gonna be
Right.
fine.
Right.
And then, yeah, he's not. He's actually getting worse, because that's maybe not what he's supposed to do. I don't know about those illnesses, but you know what I'm trying to say. And the same thing with mental illnesses. So sometimes people actually have some kind of flu-like thing that could pretty easily be managed if somebody
Mhm.
with good intentions just took him by the hand and showed them a different way of walking through life. And then you have people who have really something that's yeah, that's completely different situation, and you just can't know. So it's really hard to talk to know. Maybe if you get to if you get to know them a little better, then you can work with that.
No, so true. I mean, an obvious one to see is like genetics. Like if you see like there's depression or suicide in someone's family,
Yeah,
I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Like this guy's more likely to have, deal with that and maybe a workout, maybe alleviate, but not solve anything.
yeah, yeah. So it's just and especially in America where you can get sued so easily.
Yeah, 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 right.
It's really hard to be making statements or claims, and so yeah, it's difficult terrain to tread without any risks.
Another thing too, I've been getting I don't know if you know anything about this realm, but I was just thinking about this with mental illness, but like how much of it is just like if I put in the right words, like demonic like entities or like
Mm.
the bad parts of the spiritual realm or the low vibrate like I don't know if I'm using the right words right now
I
because maybe
think
it's
there's
not
a
genetic.
lot. I
Huh.
when the first time I got COVID,
Okay.
that was actually a funny story. Usually when I do acid, when I drop acid, I take it in the morning and I
Okay.
just have a really fun day. I go out in nature, and so there was this was full pandemic, and I dropped acid in the morning, and in the afternoon I felt some kind of entity
Okay.
swarming around me all the time, and I was my girlfriend came home, and I was in the garden half naked using incense sticks trying to, and I had
Yes,
used
yes.
because we have these really we have our standard incense sticks, and then we have the expensive ones, and I was using all the expensive ones like five at a time, and I was using all of them. She's like, what the fuck are you doing? I was like,
Right.
there's this there's this weird energy, and I'm trying to get away of I'm trying to get rid of it, but it's just it keeps sticking on to me and I can't get it out of me. And that was COVID, man.
That was COVID.
That was the energetic charge of COVID was swarming around me, and that was a dark entity. I've done acid so many times. That was the first time I ever encountered something like this in any kind of
Wow.
voyage, and that was, and that's actually what I felt on a more. I tapped into that energy, and I learned to, yeah, I kind of recognize it when people have it now. It's like I see that energy, and it's something that's really depressing and taking you down into this. That was really something.
So a question I can ask you, which I'm asking myself currently,
Mm-hmm.
is because I definitely do believe mental illness, even physical illness, could be related to these entities. But what comes first, do you think? The entity or the illness? Like, does the illness make you weak toward entities, or does the entity come to you make you weak?
I have no idea, man. I couldn't know it. No, I have no idea. It's like a chicken or the egg kind of thing.
Right, right. Because in America, I
Mm-hmm.
feel like this is going back to the mental illness argument, and I know we talked about before it could be genetic, this and that, but I really believe there's a lot of dark forces moving around.
Mm-hmm.
Like I
Yeah,
could just
definitely.
feel it walking in some places, even people I meet, like even friends that I see all the time. I'm like, hey man, you were different yesterday. This is a different person right now.
Mm.
Like I could
Yeah.
even say I could even say that and like I don't know, I'm just getting more sensitive to it or maybe I'm getting more spiritually in tune, but there's some
Mm.
people I meet, I'm like I think that shit's spreading over to me. Like I'm like how do I hang out with you? You're all nasty and then I pull all-nighter because I can't sleep. Like I'm
Ah, yeah.
fighting some bullshit. You
Yeah,
know,
I, I've been there too. It's just, yeah. Then you need to make sure you have some kind of energetic shield, or use some sage before you go to bed, or have some kind of
mhm,
cleansing ritual.
like yeah, ritual.
Yeah.
Because I don't have that. I'm very new to this stuff, so I'm learning about it.
Yeah, find your own ritual. Don't
Okay.
look into it. Just find something that works
Yes,
for
yes.
you. Because we always, when we want to do rituals, we always want to find something that has been done before or other people do.
Yeah.
But I believe that if you want to do something that truly suits you and your energy, then there's a lot of finding your own way in that.
You know, I could say going back to the workout thing
Hmm.
because I like to say I use that as my ritual.
Yeah.
But I feel like in the
That's
modern day, you kind of sound like an asshole. You're depressed, go lift some weights. You sound like a meathead. You know, I
yeah,
feel like that's how I come off.
yeah.
Uh, The only problem is it's 2 in the morning. Like, should I do a full on workout right now?
Nah, maybe
I'm saying,
just a few air squats and
yeah,
uh,
yeah.
and some push-ups or something.
See, I really recommend working out to because it does pull you into like a higher frequency. No
Hmm.
one's depressed after a workout. You're getting those endorphins. You're
Yeah,
feeling good. Same thing with breath work. That's what I love about breath work because you are technically doing breath work when you're exercising or doing
yeah.
martial arts or anything.
Hmm.
Because I'm like, damn, this is sweet. I'm just sitting here. It feels like I got done with a workout.
Yeah,
Like, this is amazing.
yeah. That's what I love about it too. It's what I love about yoga too. It's
Yes,
using your
yes.
body is yeah, it's awesome. But it's not an end all cure all kind of thing, because you can using the cure can get you out of the way too. I've known people that went into bodybuilding in a way that was really unhealthy, or got anorexic doing
That's a great
fitness,
one right there.
or so
Yes.
again,
So
it's
true.
a tool that can be misused if you're not in a good place.
So
You
true.
Because some people are like, they feel bad, they start working out, but since they didn't heal that part of them, they're just using the workout to, yeah, to crush themselves in a completely different way. And I think, or I believe, that it all starts, whatever you do, if it's ayahuasca trips, if it's yoga or working out or dieting or whatever you do, if you don't do it from a place of unconditional self love for the person you are, even before you're doing it, then you're not doing yourself a service at all. If you go
Man,
into that ayahuasca ceremony thinking, I'm bad and I need to heal before I can be loved, then you're not going to be healed, because you start off from a different way. If you start working out, I'm fat, I'm ugly, and I'm going to be loved when I look good, when I'm shredded, when I'm beautiful, you're not going to get there. If you start working out from a place of, I have a beautiful body and I want to take care of this body because it deserves to be taken care of, then your workout can be a ritual of taking care of yourself, of loving yourself. And that's the only way that's actually going to bring you further into some kind of emotional, spiritual healing. But if you're using it from a place of, I'm ugly now, I'm too fat, I'm too this, and I need to do this to get there, then you're just always putting it out in front of you, the healing. Same thing with mushrooms or ayahuasca or DMT or whatever. If you're like, oh, I'm such a bad person, or I'm not spiritual enough, or I'm this, or I'm not that, but when I do this ceremony, then I'm gonna be healed and I'm finally gonna be lovable. Nah, that's not the way it is. You should be loving yourself first, and from there start doing these things to take better care of you.
and it's going back to what we were saying. We don't need to add anything. We just
Nah.
need to take some things away.
Yeah, and just love yourself the way you are right now. And from love, do these things. For instance, I have a few dogs. I don't give them I don't give them bad food because I love them.
Mm.
I would love to. In a part of me wants to give them everything they're asking for. When I'm eating a burger and something bad, and they're there, oh, I
Yeah.
want to. It's like, no, that's not good for you, and I love you too much because I know you're going to be sick, and I don't want you to feel bad, and I don't want you to die any sooner than you absolutely have to, because I want you to be around as long as you can and as healthy as you can. So that's why I'm not giving you this food. That's a lovable way of denying somebody something bad,
Yes.
and bringing that same kind of energy into the way you're treating yourself. Yeah, that's the greatest life hack you can have. Just loving yourself the way you are, loving yourself too much to put any bad food into your mouth. I'm not there
Yes.
yet. This is just a concept in my head. I'm just eating the bad food still, so don't.
Right. Right.
Yeah, but yeah, that's I think that's when, once you get there, once you find that self-love, then everything else is just a piece of cake, and everything gets to be a healing practice.
Yes. And see, this is why I love talking to people older than me because you're already like multiple steps ahead of me. Like I know I'm going in the right direction. This is why I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, okay, I'm doing the right things. But
Hmm.
damn, like that's such a good point. And it just got me thinking like maybe this is why people are scrolling on their phone, eating like shit, skipping workouts
Hmm.
because they hate themselves. And then they
Yeah.
project it onto other people. And then they
Yeah.
hate other people and then it causes more problems.
You get it.
Man,
That's
it's
it.
just
So that's the basic layer. Once you really love yourself, you're gonna take care of yourself. Some people love their car. They're gonna be like, I don't want food in this car. You have to take your
yeah, yeah.
shoes off in this car. You have to do this in this car. I'm gonna wash it every Sunday. And if they just bring 10% of the love and the taking care of that car into themselves, their life would be totally different.
Right. Totally.
Because you
Man.
can work out and do it from a place of self-hatred. And I think
Yeah.
energetically, you're not doing yourself a service.
Oh, I've seen that so many times. So many like people like, um it's a metaphor like you probably hear all the time, but like this guy's fighting his demons right now,
Mm-hmm.
like during a workout and stuff. And
Yeah.
I could definitely say I've done that with myself too, but that's so true. If anything, it just becomes torture. You're just hurting
Yeah.
yourself more.
You're
You can see
you're
that in people
creating
that are
your own hell.
overtrained.
You're creating your own hell. That's the kingdom of heaven right there.
Hmm. Yes, totally. Damn. Yeah. One thing that this came up to me recently because I noticed like with fasting,
Mhm.
that was one thing. Like it sounds like you're doing good for yourself, right? But then you just see this guy just builds an eating disorder
Yeah, yeah.
and gets the negative effects of fasting. Just start.
Hmm.
I've seen this. I've seen this the most. I mean, maybe in the world I'm in right now, I've been seeing this a lot with fasting
Hmm.
because I'm not so like because I love fasting. I'm actually on a fast right now, and how much
Hmm.
it's benefited me. But I like to say I got all the good benefits of it.
Yeah,
You know what
you're
I'm
doing
saying?
it
Like
from a
on the
place of
good side.
self-love. You want to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
So that's why you're doing it. And that starts, it's just the place you start from. And the longer I'm in this realm, because I do some personal training, I do yoga, I teach all
Hmm.
these things. But if I really want to get down to the base layer with people, it's not about finding that best workout or the best yoga routine, or it's just about, okay, how are we going to find a way to love yourself? And you'll figure all these things out on your own afterwards,
Right.
because
Totally.
it's going to feel natural to just take care of yourself like you are taking care of anybody you would love very much, very, very dearly.
Right. And crazy how we neglect that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's easy to neglect ourselves and to neglect that part of us. And then, like you said, you start projecting it onto other people, and the suffering just goes round and round and round and round. And if we want to end the suffering, we just have to start with ourselves.
Totally. Hey, Kevin, to let you know, we're
Mm.
almost at the 2 hour mark. I don't know if you could see that on your side.
Yeah, I can see now. Whoa, that's it's quite a journey, man.
Oh, definitely.
It was
Yeah.
maybe you should do this again sometime. And
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
I I notice every podcast I do with someone,
yeah.
like, because I already had some questions in mind, just from, like, seeing you in the chat and your content and everything, but damn, now I got, like, a million other questions. We gotta do this again.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it again sometime because maybe 2 hours is we're almost getting into Joe Rogan territory, so we
Oh,
should be
right,
careful
right.
with that, treading that mark. But it was a
Oh, I
blast,
know.
man. I didn't. It just went by so fast.
Alright. That's how it
Yeah,
should be, right?
yeah.
A lot of
You're so
fun.
wise. So
Oh, thank you. You're wise,
yeah.
you're wise.
Nah,
Thank you.
man. Come on. You're only 29 years old. You're already so far ahead of this game.
Oh, you think
So
so?
yeah, yeah. You definitely are.
I appreciate that means a lot, man. I
No,
definitely don't
really.
tell myself that though, but that means a lot. Thank you.
No, 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 no. You're wow. You're so far ahead. I
And
think
more self-love.
if you would place like 129-year-olds in the room, I don't think a lot of them would be on the level you are right now, and I think you kind of know that too, right?
I mean, no, thank you. I'm blushing on here. I like to say, again, maybe it's the self-love going back to where you're saying. I need
Yeah.
more of that for myself because I'm so harsh on myself. I'm like, God, I gotta do this. I gotta do that. What the fuck?
Nah,
But thank you.
you,
That means a lot,
yeah.
especially coming from you. Means so much.
Everything you're doing is extra, but you don't have to do anything. But
Yeah.
you just do it because you love it. No, this was
Right. Right.
beautiful.
Totally.
I would really want to thank you for inviting me on your I don't know, show or podcast or whatever you're gonna call it. Um, and yeah, let me know what if I'm gonna see. Are you gonna post clips or is
Oh,
there?
I'm gonna post this immediately. Right after this, I'm gonna clip it up. I'm gonna try to get some reels and stuff. I'm gonna get going. I'm gonna
Oh
get
wow,
moving.
beautiful, beautiful. Okay, I'll see you around then. And yeah, let's meet up again sometime and we dive a little deeper again.
Definitely. I'm gonna click
Okay.
stop right now, Kevin.
Yeah.
All right.